Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is your host, Nikasha, Mental Health Consultant. This channel is all about mental health, and today I'm going to be giving you guys tips on how you can be intentional in improving your mental health and well-being in order to achieve the vision you have for your life. So, today I want to talk to you guys about something. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about will not only reduce your level of stress, but it can lift your mood, increase your sense of self-efficacy, improve your relationships, and give you greater control over your emotions. What I'm going to talk to you about is called Cognitive Behavioural Therapy, or CBT for short. Now, hands down, this has got to be one of my favorite forms of therapy, simply because this is the form of therapy my clients over the years have found is most effective for them. And what's really cool is that new research is actually showing that CBT can actually alter the connections in your brain. And this could explain why you're able to retain long-term results even after therapy has ended. Now, another thing I love about CBT is that whether you're just looking to improve your sense of well-being overall, let's say you want to lift your mood and reduce your stress, or you're living with chronic pain or mental health concern like anger, depression, anxiety, whether that's general or social, or you're living with a phobia, trauma, PTSD, schizophrenia, or personality disorder, there's such a broad range of things that CBT can be used to overcome. Now, CBT is pretty broad. In a nutshell, it's basically a form of therapy that helps you to become aware and change the way you think about and respond to different experiences in your life towards more patterns of thinking that will actually get you what you want out of life. Now, to help you guys understand a bit about how CBT works, I liken it to physical exercise. Now, when you first start exercising, it doesn't feel like fun, right? At first, it may feel like a chore. It may feel unnatural. You may not feel that motivated towards it, but then after a while you start to see results, and you see results in so many different ways. You see the benefits in different parts of your life, and you feel motivated towards continuing with it. And even later, when you take a little bit of a break, you may notice when you go back to the gym, that muscle memory kind of kicks in again, right? Now, I think of CBT in that way. It's like exercise for your mind, for your brain. So at first when you do CBT, it's going to feel very deliberate. So it's not going to feel quite natural at first. It may feel like a chore. You may not even feel super motivated towards it. But when you start doing it more and more, you're going to actually start to see the benefits in your life, in your thinking, in your mood, in so many different areas of your life. And as you start to see those benefits, you're going to feel more and more motivated towards it. And even if you take a break a little bit later, you're going to find that that way of thinking has become natural to you. And you're going to maintain some of those things that you've gained, the things that you've learned, the skills over time. Now, the idea behind CBT is that life experiences are neutral. When things happen to us, they are neither good nor bad. What happens is then we filter it. Our experiences get filtered through our perceptions and our thoughts. And our thoughts are influenced by a large number of different factors. So that could be our background and experiences, our history, different adverse experiences and hurts we've had, our upbringing and our early relationships, our more recent relationships, romantic relationships, friend relationships. It can be impacted by our mood of the day, our physical health, how much sleep we've had, a lot of different things. Now, think about that filter as a pair of glasses. Now, these glasses can represent someone who is dealing with depression, dealing with grief, trauma, maybe just tired, but I'm looking at the world and things look a lot darker than they normally would be. Now, these glasses can represent, a day that I've had lots of sleep, I've got lots of energy, I've been exercising, I've got some really great supportive relationships, not dealing with any sort of grief, not depressed, I'm feeling pretty good overall. And I'm walking through my day, kind of filtering my experiences through these clear lenses. Now, after I've filtered my experience, it affects my thoughts, which then affects my emotions, which then affects my behavior. And If I'm using unhelpful thoughts and doing that, then what's going to happen is it's going to reinforce those thoughts, maintain those behaviors, and it's not going to get me any closer to my goals or the vision I have for my life. So basically with CBT, we're looking at helpful thoughts versus unhelpful thoughts. So let's talk about the ABCs of CBT. With CBT, we look at the letters A, B, C, D, and E. The A stands for the activating event, the antecedent. So it's basically what happened, and that's just the facts of my day. The B stands for the beliefs. So that's basically the thoughts that I've now formed based on that experience. The C is the consequence. So the consequence is the impact to my emotions and my behavior that then comes from it. The D is the dispute. And we're going to talk a bit more about the dispute a little later, but that's where we're actually going to separate helpful versus unhelpful thoughts. I'm going to look for evidence to support the beliefs that I have. The E is the evaluate, and that's the part that's really strong in CBT, is that it's going to help us to evaluate those thoughts, choose new ones that are going to get us closer to our goals. So I'm going to use an example that I see happen quite a bit. So in this example, let's say I've sent a message to my partner a few hours ago and he hasn't responded yet. So that's the A, that's the event, that is what happened. The B is now my beliefs, my thoughts. So let's say I start to think my partner is ignoring me, he's mad at me, he's out with someone else. Now, the way that I arose to that thought is going to be based on my filter. So let's say in the past, I went through a romantic relationship where my partner was unfaithful and my brain perceived that as an adverse experience or trauma. Or let's say I grew up in a family that was emotionally neglectful. Or let's say I grew up in a family or had a past relationship where I was constantly striving to please that other person and falling short. Now, based on that, depending on the thought that I have, I'm going to feel either hurt, sad, or angry. Now, depending on the thought and emotions I chose, I would either possibly send my partner an angry text message, begin ignoring my partner, or look for things I can do to please my partner and get my partner to approve of me. Now, the D is where I'm actually going to dispute my thoughts, where I'm going to actually look for evidence to support the beliefs that I have. I'm going to think about all the potential things that tell me this is what's going on. And then I'm going to look for evidence against the things that I'm thinking. Is there any evidence that could suggest that something else might be going on, or that what I'm believing is happening might not necessarily be the case? What is the evidence that what I'm thinking is factual? Now, once I've thought about all the possible alternatives to explain my partner's behavior, I will then move into the E, evaluate. Now, if, for instance, a possible explanation is that my partner is at work and having a busier day than usual, then that's actually going to shift my emotion. And once my emotions on the matter have shifted, then I'm going to shift in my choices and how I'm going to respond to the situation. Now, when I'm choosing my response, I'm more likely to choose a response that's actually going to be more helpful to me. If my goal is to have a healthy, happy relationship with my partner, then I'm likely going to choose a response that's going to promote that. And it's easier to do that when my emotions aren't hurt, sad, angry. It can be really difficult to think of alternative explanations. And what's really good about that is CBT can actually show us different categories of thinking. They're unhelpful thought patterns that we all have. Trust me, we all share these in common. Some of us may, use some categories more than others, but at the end of the day, we all have unhelpful thoughts because we all have different triggers. We've all, even if we feel we've had a really great life, we all have different experiences that our brain does perceive as adverse. And because of that, we have some areas that might be a little bit more sensitive for us or a bit more challenging for us. Now I'm going to be going through some of the different unhelpful thought categories that we as humans share in a different video, and I'm going to link it below. So take a look at that video, and that's what you're going to be able to use to actually use the D, the dispute process within CBT. Now, after that video, I'm also going to post below that link a video I've made with a challenge on how you can use CBT in your life and see how much it can actually help you, how much it can lead to some major improvements in different parts of your life. So please take a look at that video below as well. Now, as I mentioned, guys, this video covers a very basic level understanding of CBT. I'm definitely going to be rolling out more CBT videos in the future, but in order to really get a deeper level of understanding of how it works and to be able to apply it to your specific individual situation and your life circumstances and get the fullness of this form of therapy, it's really important to engage the support of a mental health practitioner that specializes in CBT that can really help you in getting even more results than you can get on your own. So if you enjoyed this video, I would love to know about it. So hit the like with the thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to get more of my videos. Also make sure your notifications are turned on by hitting the bell icon. That way you're notified anytime new videos are released. And if you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I love reading your comments and I will do my very best to get an answer to you. I'm also very interested in topics for upcoming videos, so if there's anything you guys want to know more about, please post them below as well. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.